everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do our second speed build video in which we'll be building this giant mountain that you see me sitting on currently. This video took me forever to make, so I'm so sorry that I have not posted it yet, but I redid the mountain like 3 or 4 times, so things just kept changing and I was like, it's not ready yet. So I think it ended up coming together nicely, so I hope you enjoy it. And if you want to subscribe, please do. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will keep making videos like this for you, so hope you enjoy. Okay, so obviously the first step, I had to start building this mountain, right? So I had a general plan to just like make it go across the whole island, you know. It was a journey. So the first step was really just kind of creating an outline here. We had to go, and I wanted it to be like deep but also like very long, so I had quite a time just building the outline, and of course in true me fashion just like didn't get rid of any of the trees until the last second because you know how it goes. Also, Flick was here again. He was here last time I was building and was in the way, and he was here in the way again this time. So I don't know what the deal is, but he needs to stop. I also decided to build all the way out onto my peninsula because my plan for the island is to make it so that you really have to follow the path to get wherever you want to go on my island. So I wanted to literally just block off the entire right side of the island and just make it so you have to follow the path, go the proper way, or you're not going to get where you're going. And then of course you gotta smooth up those edges, always. And just had to fill in some of these guys here, and then started working on this peninsula. I had to fix the peninsula like 3 times because I realized like you can't actually build it all the way out to the edge like that and still round off the corners, so it was a journey of me just like figuring out how to do this. I will say, like, while it comes together nicely in the end, the cliff tool and the water tool are so frustrating. Like in the moment you're like, I hate this so much. Like I never hated anything more than I hate this. So here was me redoing it because I was like, oh. But we got there in the end. Then I got bored and came over to the other side of the cliff because I was like, okay, this is taking way too long. I'm like hours in at this point. It was, oh god, so tedious. But you know what? I love it, so it's fine. So this side I'm not putting quite as far. I didn't want to completely block this side of the island off because I'm going to put my museum over here and have that kind of connect to my neighborhood, which is behind it. So it didn't go all the way to the side, just, you know, just part of the way. Just had to give some depth over here as well. And then I was like, okay, I'm also gonna put a cliff up top here as well. What am I gonna do over here? I don't know. I have no plan. So far it's just a cliff. I didn't decorate over here because I was like, I don't even know what this is. It's just a cliff. So for now, you know what? It's just doing its thing. All good. Also, I should put a counter on here of like how many times I try to knock it to be angled and then I just knock the whole side off and then I get annoyed. It's beautiful. Then I finally ventured back over to this other side and was like, okay, ready to keep going. And then was like working on building the rest of the outline for this side. And of course, avoiding the trees in true me fashion. I cut out some of this too because I had this like giant peninsula sort of outlook thing on the front here, but then I ended up getting rid of it. So I kept it kind of, but I ended up making it much smaller, so a lot of what you're seeing right now changed slightly. And then this was just on the other side of that peninsula where it all kind of connects over to my town hall. And that was the fun part. Filling in literally just this entire thing, which took so long, but it was pretty satisfying to watch in 5 times speed, I'm not gonna lie. So I'll spare you the details of me filling in this whole cliff, but just know it all gets filled in the end. The amount of stuff I had to like clip out of this was just obscene. Like literally I have probably a good like 4 to 6 hours of footage of me just like filling in this cliff, and I was like, okay, nobody wants to see this. Like not a single person signed up for this. So it took forever for me to decide what to get rid of and what to keep, but you know what? We figured it out. So we just about finished the bottom layer here, and I was like, thank God. Just made a slight adjustment over here on this side, make it a little bigger, which again ends up changing in the end, so doesn't matter much. And I decided this side needed a little more cliff to really come together fully. And then I wanted to also add a little sort of water feature over there. So here we are, layer 1's complete, and this is me realizing I still have to build the second layer. So then I get started on that. The idea up here where I am now is I'm gonna put my campsite here. So it's gonna go up to a second layer here, but my campsite's gonna be on this bottom cliff, and you'll have to come down a staircase to get to it. And it'll be kind of like foresty up top, and then the campsite will be down below, and it'll be pretty cute. I haven't done that yet. I'm not gonna be decorating that part in this video. That'll be a journey for another time. Mostly because I don't have enough money to move my campsite yet, so we're working on it. Luckily this cliff has to be a little smaller so that it can fit on the bottom one, so it didn't take me quite as long, but definitely took me, you know, long enough for it to be annoying. And then I was trying to build out where I was going to put the stairs down to the campsite, so that's kind of what I'm doing here, is like mapping out where that gap is going to be and then trying to figure out how it's going to meet up over here. And then I also needed a staircase up to the second layer right at the front, so that's what I'm building here and trying to figure out where it's all going to meet up in the end. Gotta fill that baby in and just kind of work on that outline. I will say it's really hard when you're like in the moment to like determine if you're gonna meet up with it or not, or like how many more you need to do. It's just kind of a mess. Mostly I was just following my gut of like, this seems good, and then having to fix it. But outline done, now we're just filling in the rest of this cliff, and we can actually start doing more with it. Sparing you the details once again, and just speeding things up here for you. The number of times I was like slightly too far away and then I built just like a gap in front of myself was way too many times, and it had me so annoyed. Like, this game is supposed to be chill, but when you're building a mountain, it is no longer chill. Let me tell you, it is very annoying. Like, oh, what did you do today? Oh, I spent 4 hours just like building the cliff tool on my island. Yeah, that was fun. That was a good time. I did enjoy it. It's just like, it's just very tedious, and after a while you're like, is this the end? Like, is this where it ends? Is this where it's over? But there I had my staircase set up, and then of course just cleaning up those edges as always. And then here's the final walkthrough of our cliff here, which of course ends up changing. So part 2 was I decided down here on the left side, overlooking my neighborhood, I was gonna build a giant water feature, or like I want to call it a lake, but like, is it a lake? I don't know. It's not that big, but it's kind of big. And then in general, my idea was like, we're gonna overlook the neighborhood behind us, which you've sort of seen in other videos, but also like not really because I haven't done that video yet. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's gonna overlook the neighborhood and you'll kind of see it from up above, which is kind of cute. And then this lake will be just kind of a nice like feature that you can also overlook when you're up on the cliff. So there's some good views on the mountain. The mountain is the spot to be if you're trying to have a picnic or like, I don't know, just go for a hike maybe. I feel like I can't decide what's more tedious too, the water or the cliff. I want to say, honestly, the water. I feel like I messed up the water more than I messed up the cliff. But maybe I just got used to the cliff more, I don't know. That was filled in. Then this had to clean up the edges, as always. Nice little overlook there. Then I decided I hated myself and I wanted to make it bigger, actually. And this is kind of where I adjust that peninsula, because I was like, this thing's way too big. So I decided to make it bigger, the water, and just kind of fill that in as well, all the way up to the cliff. And there's the final walkthrough of the lake. And now we're back up top and we're actually going to start decorating. The first thing I wanted to do was to build out my path, because my basic idea was like, on my old island I had a sort of mountain path, or like a sort of a hike area, so I kind of wanted to make that again, but obviously make it more like colorful and kidcore-ish. So I wanted to add a lot of different paths and kind of have them wind through some trees. Maybe have a water feature up here, and then just kind of a lot of decorations. So I'm kind of just creating the outline of the path here to where it's gonna go. So I have the outline from up where you come from the town hall, and then there's a little peninsula here, and then it goes out to the side and down to the neighborhood. And then if you want, you can also go down to the campsite. So they all had to join up and connect in some way. And of course I was using the custom path, and as I mentioned in the last build video, it's very tedious because you just have to click on them one by one to feel out how it's gonna look. So I changed it a bunch of times, had to adjust it a bunch of times, but once it's like looking the way you want, it looks so good. And then I decided actually I want to connect it all the way around. Because originally I was like, I'm just gonna have them go out to their little spots, but then I was like, nah, it's all gotta connect. Just to make it harder on myself, you know? Of course. And then I started planting some flowers, and then I wanted to map out where I was gonna put the trees here, and I just wanted to use like the cedar trees. So I'm just digging the holes for them here, and then putting those babies in. The cedar trees look so good for like a mountain path, I feel like. Then I decided over here by the campsite area I was gonna build a small little cliff as well, just as a nice little, you know, dimension. And then over here in the middle of the walk I wanted to put a little pond as well. You see ponds on hikes, right? You know, of course. There's water up there. Then of course, as I was doing this, I realized I've messed up my path, so now I have to fix it. So I ended up adjusting that as well. It's always a process, of course. And then I wanted to just put another tree here, mixing up the trees a little bit, our classic pear tree. And then I also decided, because I moved where the entrance to the campsite was going to be, or like where the stairs were going to be, I decided to adjust where the campsite itself was going to go. And then I started adding decorations. I decided to put balloons on all the staircases as like trail markers almost, and then started going in on the decorations. Of course, you've got to have your bear and your tire toy. Those are just classics. At this point, my cat stepped on my computer and turned off the power, so I lost some footage, but I had decorated some and I lost that, so sorry. You can blame my cat. But I added this cute little like tea party area down on the left where you can have a little tea party and have your friends over. I put little stuffed animals. It was very cute. And then I just planted a ton of flowers and lots of shrubs and just basically decorations. I'm still in love with how the Mario items look in this sort of theme. I think they just work really well. They came at a very opportune time for me as I had just destroyed my island when those came out, so it was very good. I also love the pansy table. I think it looks so cute. Then I had my two little outlooks over the lake here and then one also over the neighborhood. So I put the little seats, the little public benches on both of those outlooks so you can see the neighborhood, the little village, and see what's going on down there as well. Then I also decided to add some bamboo trees just, you know, for a little bit of a change in the types of trees we've got going on. Updated the flowers here with some more colorful ones because I only had like the basics. And then just put in lots of kid-like toys. So we've got the toy box, just kid accessories, so lots of the Mario stuff, just tons of flowers, all of that kind of thing. Just basically the goal is like as colorful as possible, like that's what we're going for. Of course, added a little springy ride-on. And we called it good. Beautiful. So here's the final walkthrough of the mountain area. So you come up top here, you've got your little outlook. There is my nice little lake, and we overlook our little village and the water as well. It's very quaint, especially in the sunset or the sunrise, or even just midday. We've got tons of flowers, lots of colorful toys. I love using the balloons. Here is the little tea party area. I put a pie, some stuffed animals having tea, and then back here we have the other overlook, which kind of just overlooks my cute little neighborhood down there. You can see what's going on and what your friends are doing in the neighborhood. Then you just kind of walk along, and this is where it just kind of a mountain path, but it overlooks the neighborhood, and I just like the way the dimension is that you can see the houses are like smaller, and it's just very cute. And that's kind of your staircase down to the neighborhood. We won't go down there right now. Down here you follow the path, and this is where there'll be a staircase down to my campsite, which is not built yet. Then of course we have our little tire toy, little intersection here. You come through, and then I love how you go under the question mark block and you get your coins or whatever. Glass is in my way, so we'll go back the other way. Then you just come along the other side, and it just meets up over here. There's a little hammock and the rest of the tea party. So that is my mountain. Hope you enjoyed.